Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to your weekly messages for, I think it's the 13th to the 19th, but I might be off by a day there. Anyway, sorry it's taken me a while to get back to doing these. I just needed to take a break from the weekly messages and work on a few other things. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna lay these down. I'm just doing a Celtic cross today for everybody, and then yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. So let me lay this down, and then while I'm doing this, go ahead, take a deep breath, find your center, ask for any information that's needed to come up today. And by the way, for those of you, if you have not been following me on Instagram, I highly, highly recommend it. It's been so much fun being on there and talking with everybody, and it's just been great. So you should check it out. It's just Onyx Healing if you're interested. Okay. So the truth bomb for the week: fierce but flexible. Having high standards, but also, you know, being somewhat flexible in your approach. So there are some things that you're probably gonna feel like you need to fight a little bit harder for, and then other things that you're letting flow or allowing to breathe into the space. So just find your happy medium with that, and it might not be readily apparent. It might be something that you need to step into or work on a little bit, so be patient with yourself. It takes time to find a good middle ground here. Then we have I pray before I pay. Yeah, okay, so anything financial or money-based or resource-based. If I mentioned this to somebody the other day, and my trick with this, if I feel like I'm slipping into a scarcity mindset or I feel like there's not enough, my prayer is like, oh really, God can't take care of a few $100s? Oh really, God can't find me a new house? Like, kind of, I make it a joke because it is ridiculous. Like the idea that there's not enough jobs, or like God can't create an extra $200, or, you know, something minor like that helps me shake out of scarcity and into, oh right, there's a gigantic world that I'm living in. You're demanding it. You're not asking. You're saying, this is what I'm creating, and this is what needs to show up. It's not an ask. Like, don't forget, you're not wanting, you're creating. And that is the prayer. The prayer is the demand, essentially. At least, I mean, if there's a more gentle way that works for you, that's fine too. That's just something that I have found works for myself around anything resource-oriented. I have the Affirmators Family cards. So this is family regardless of whether or not they're blood-related. Reprieve, whatever. Every family has a person who takes on more than their fair share of the collective burden. Does this sound like you? Have you been through a gauntlet of physical or emotional chores only to come out feeling like you have nothing left in the mental mop bucket? Consider this a permission slip to take a break. The world won't stop spinning if you take a minute for yourself, and your family won't fall apart if you act like a human instead of a superhero. Even Superman had a fortress of solitude. If he hadn't, we certainly would have found him crying on the bathroom floor. Okay, that's definitely true. And I think a lot of people have a hard time with this, or feeling like they need to pick up the slack or pick up the weight in family units. But I mean, the only way you can really shake out of that is if you jump first. You can't think yourself into understanding. You have to actually practice. This is true for work relationships as well. If you're finding that you're picking up more of the weight in work relationships, that the same goes for you. All right, and then we have confidence. Divine confidence is completely different from the bravado of the ego. You make space for something larger to take hold. Please fill me with your confidence, O love. Grant me courage I never knew I had. Okay. Pretty straightforward. That one reads like a prayer. So, or these cards do at least. So I'm going to leave that. Now let's just get into this reading. The central energy is the Ten of Swords. So this is a big healing week. Oh God, that Mercury in Pisces is killing me. So I can only imagine for those of you who aren't used to that energy and working with that, it might be super sensitive, super emotional, super just feeling messy is the best way I can explain it. Not messy in reality, just perceiving a mess or not wanting to deal with the hypersensitivity of the season we're heading into and that transit. That's immediately what came up. So this is actually a great opportunity to kind of check your mindset for one. Is what you're perceiving actually what's happening in reality, or are you attaching a story to it? Look at the facts, look at the information, and see, is there a part of your story that's being shed and released? That's what the Ten of Swords does. Now, we have strength as the crossing energy, so it's like you're supported, you're okay. I think the feeling of this week is really powerful in the sense that you might, you know, be having a hard time emotionally, but it's not something that's going to stick forever. It's temporary, and that's what the Strength card wants to remind you. This is also good. Any Leos in your life or people with strong Leo placements, that would be good for support this week if you have any of those close to you. So keep your eye out. Then shifting out, we have the Three of Cups. So this is like friendship. Maybe you just went through a time when you may have been having a lighthearted time, or it may have felt kind of easy and breezy, maybe just keeping things on the surface, and then all of a sudden you flash to this week and it's like really, really intense, deep healing work. Like all of those wounds that have been sitting underneath the surface, just percolating and, you know, rising to the surface. This is more of a superficial card. The Three of Cups is like, yeah, let's just have a good time. And then obviously this week is not really reflecting that so much. The oncoming energy for you. Nine of Swords, don't be afraid. This is just fear. It really is just, oh my God, what if the other shoe drops? Oh my God, what if everything falls apart? Oh my God, what if? That's what the Nine of Swords is. And I will stand by this until the end of time. I would much rather have this card over like a lot of others in tarot. I'd rather have this than the Three of Swords, that's for sure. Because this, you know, it's mental. You know, it's a perception, not actual or literal heartbreak. It's the perception of what I have around me could end horribly, or the situations that I'm involved in right now are really frightening, or this can also be nervousness. Like if you're challenging a part of yourself, or you're growing and expanding and you're doing difficult things, it can feel like, oh no, I might fail. Oh no, this might not go well. So it's all of that stuff that you're confronting. And remember, this is also part of what you're having shift out. But in all honesty, I'm going to clarify this just because I know this freaks people out. But with this Strength card here, I'm like, oh, I'm not worried at all. So let me clarify the Nine of Swords in the oncoming position. Okay, so I got, God, come on. Okay, I got Nine of Swords again. I'm pulling another one. I don't care. I'm just pulling another one. Okay, it's not, all right, I already read it all. I'm not getting anything. It gave me the moon. It's screwing with me now. Okay, so you see how it's like this guy isn't being harmed. He's just really frustrated and scared and irritated and having all these emotions, but nothing is happening. Nothing is actually touching him. Nothing is harming him. And so you can think of it as the fear that's going on in your mind is not actually happening in real life, and there's nothing more to it. I tried to clarify, but I already got the message out of it. That's why it wasn't giving me anything else. Okay, in the outward manifestation, the Lovers. What? Okay, see, this is where we get back to things are much better than they feel. Okay, so that's the good news, is you actually on the surface, like this is reality, this is internal, this is what's happening inside. But the Lovers is like things are flowing, things are progressing, things are moving forward, especially with the way this is depicted in this deck. And you have that collaboration that you need. This could be, if you're working on partnership stuff, healing through that. Can also be friendships, people who have your back, the support that you need. All of that stuff comes up with the Lovers. So that looks really solid. If there's any evidence that things are going well and that you're just not feeling well, it's this combo right here, along with the Strength card. Okay, in the subconscious, we have the World. So this is resolution to all of the cycles that you've had going on. And this is what I was getting at here with the 9 and 10 of Swords, is you have to purge that. These are the types of feelings and experiences you can't shove into a closet and expect to go away. That's one of the things about negative emotion, is it has to be discharged in order for it to be released. It can't just sit in your body, because then it festers. So you have to let this come to the surface and just allow it to come up and feel it, and it goes away. It's just, you don't want to take action on things when you're in this headspace, because this isn't reality. The 9 and 10 of Swords are not reality. It's a wound within yourself that's being lit up by the external world. And that's not a good way to make decisions, because then you're going to have things become self-fulfilling prophecies. So watch yourself on that. This is showing that in the internal, you are doing a lot of healing. You have a lot of growth, a lot of resolution, a lot of clearing things up. The advice for you this week is the 9 of Cups. Ask for more. I think that this would be a great week for prayer. It would be a great week for you to ask for your needs to be met. Focus on manifestation. Like, what is it that you're hoping will happen? And that's the thing you can just have a mantra for. This thing is happening right now. So remember, you want to talk as if it's already happening. You want to speak without, don't use the word want in your manifestation. It's a thing you're doing. It's a thing you're creating. And really drill that distinction into your mind. You're not wanting a life partner. You're calling a life partner in. You're not really wanting money. You're manifesting that extra $500 or whatever it is that you need. So more conviction, folks. Okay, then external influences. We have the 5 of Pentacles. I'll clarify this one for you. The Star. Okay, so I think that part of the issue this week is less about what's actually going on, and it looks more like timing, because this combo right here, this is like you being disappointed, but this is everything working out in divine timing, in divine order, in the way that it needs to. And so just really watch your perception. I'm telling you, that's everything this week. It's like what you're seeing and what your brain is processing could not be more wrong. So it doesn't mean that your feelings are invalid. Your feelings are valid. Just make sure you're finding the origin point of them rather than blaming it on external circumstances every time, because a lot of this is like through a wounded lens, and that's also what this is. This is like negative assumptions. And then the star is like, well, you just can't see what's happening behind the scenes, which is what's getting you frustrated. And so because you can't see around every corner, that's where you might fall into negative thought patterns of, oh, well, you know, this is probably what's going on. Watch yourself on that. Don't make any assumptions this week. Hopes and fears, the Empress. So I think you're really hoping to stay grounded through all of this and find compassion for yourself using that divine femininity. And this right here is telling me that you absolutely can do that, so long as you pull your mind away from beating yourself up throughout whatever process you're going through. That's the trick here. But let's see the outcome of the week. Three of Pentacles. So whatever you have cooking is taking time to build. It is taking, you know, effort and energy. And, you know, this doesn't get climbed in one day, right? It takes a while. So you need to be patient this week. I'm going to clarify this one as well. The Tower. We'll do one more. This is all that belief system stuff that you're letting go, because you need to drop that weight before you go on this trek. And then we also have Four of this oysters, but this is Four Pentacles in this deck. So it just watch yourself around that scarcity. Like I said, you know, really you think a small problem or housing or money or whatever it is that you need, a solution to a legal situation. I mean, these are all things that that do have resolutions. They do have ways that they get figured out and healed and resolved. And so you have to be really open to possibilities, even if you can't think it up yet. You have to lean into the unknown and be willing to do your part of the work, release the negative belief systems and the assumptions at the door, and that's what makes way for you to continue moving forward. But the Tower and scarcity, it's like you have to drop this. Both of these things are kind of like, this is what you have to release in order to get the work done. So, all right, my friends, that was a really intense reading, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I'll leave the last note. I'm not going to do a 3-card pick. I'm just going to pick a couple of these, and then you guys can pick a word or phrase that's really resonating with you. So just listen to when your ears prick up. I have to get into other readings right now. But let's see what's coming up. So you have mentorship, find your own soul teachers, show, don't tell, do your work, and be a guiding light for others. Okay, you don't have to have it all figured out. It's just about modeling. So view that as you being a mentor. Then we have gratitude. Notice your supports, appreciate your own willingness to do the work, give thanks for all that's coming your way. Show gratitude before it appears. That's really important. And then one more. Focus. Make a choice and take the appropriate next action. What you desire is worth your attention. Remove distraction. Put your intention into motion with thought and aligned effort. Remember, it's not just about what you're thinking. That's a big problem, is if you're just like trying to think things into manifestation, you have to take action as well. It's not just one-sided. All right, my friends, that's all that I have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. Don't forget, follow me on Instagram. I've been doing a lot of fun stuff in my stories, answering lots of questions and things. So check that out. Remember, the handle is Onyx Healing. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, get a tarot spread, if you have a quick question, go to onyxhealing.com. All the links are in the description box if you want to work with me. And I hope you have a beautiful week, everybody. Happy healing. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.